Welcome to This Week in Magic. This is going to be a Saturday series released now from now on. Just so you know, it is July 20th, 2019. I am your host, Cinder Shadow, and welcome to my channel. This has been an amazing week, and I'd like to put this out there now. I'm trying to reach the 1,000 mark goal as soon as we can, as my hourlies are coming up close to the 4,000 mark for hours. So please share this around, like the video, and subscribe today. And we'll get right into the rest. This week in Magic, well, we had the State of the Beta come out. That's a very interesting large article to see where Magic the Gathering is going with the arena. We saw someone get arrested for role-playing. And we've also seen Star City Games come out with a cheater, and much more going on here with the archery set that was announced this week, and we're going to find out more over this weekend. I am filming this the day before the Saturday, so I will not have the fully updated stuff on Throne of Eldraine, which is the name of the new set. Okay, so State of the Beta for July 2019. Apparently we're taking a playcation from July 20th to August 27th. They're traveling the multiverse and earning souvenirs. They did something like this last year, but not the same, calling it the same thing. They called it something else. A lot of these are no entry fee. You win 6 times, you get special rewards, and you can just keep winning. As for the rewards themselves, they've kept them pretty basic, taking a scenic route. Well, we got Ravnica Guild Battle, so you get to play with certain decks, but you get to earn 6 basic lands to add to your collection. These are full art lands. These are the Zendikar full art lands, which, cool. I wish that they would let us have a pick of them all. And the update with that is you will be able to buy them separately for gold. Also, the first win gives you 1,000 XP, which is a full level for your Mastery Pass system. That's very nice in that sense. Once it's added to your collection, you can pick as many as you want for it. It'll be easy to do with the basic land filter. And then the next event that they have is with the Guild Battle, there's Standard Shakeup and a Landfall event. Now, the Standard Shakeup is going to change things quite a bit because it has an extensive banning list. Cards that are on Wizards' radar, I would say, by this emission saying that they're going to be on this ban list. And if they're on the radar now, it means if things get completely out of control, these are going to be the first cards that will be hit in any banning cycles. So we have Benalish Marshal, which is the 3 white mana that gives you 1/1 across the board. I honestly don't see that as a big deal when it comes down to creatures. We've had anthems in the past that aren't really that big of a deal. History Benalia, when that thing gets stacked up, oh yeah, that's a big deal. Venerated Loxodon, I think is fairly costed, honestly. Curious Obsession is a very big deal for that to be on this ban list. That thing has enabled so much. Nexus of Fate, of course, has to be. Command the Dread Horde in itself is a crazy card and has been a problem of some people. Arc-like Phoenix, I'm not surprised to see this forecasted 3/2 flying haste creature, especially with Finale Promise that's out there. That makes this card absolutely bonkers. Experimental Frenzy, the fact that you're able to continue drawing off the top of your deck, casting cards, that card in itself is pretty crazy. Chain Whirler is one of those cards that should have been banned a long time ago. A first strike 3/3 that causes 1 damage across the board. It creates this crowd control. The fact that it's first strike, if this wasn't a first strike mob, it wouldn't be so much of a big deal, but the fact that it's first strike is crazy. Light Up the Stage, yes, this is a card enabler in red. Rampaging Ferocidon has been banned from Standard since its inception. Rekindling Phoenix, so another card that is problematic that keeps coming back. Runaway Steamkin, so this is pretty much nerfing red all through and through, which is nice to see. Nissa, who shakes the world, we know she is becoming a powerhouse in the current Standard, so I'm not surprised to see her on this list. Wildgrowth Walker is another card that needed to be on this list, and I'm not surprised it's there. Both Teferis currently in Standard, Hero of Dominaria and Time Raveler. We know that they're problems, so it is good to see them there. And this means that they've had a lot of feedback with these two cards in particular, especially where they land on the Standard power listings. Thought Eraser is another one big on that number, and Hydroid Kerasis. And the biggest one in here is Risen Reef. This is a brand new card from M20, and the fact that it's already made it onto a restricted banning list for a temporary purposes. They know they made this card, and they know how bonkers it really is. Then there's a landfall event that will be coming out. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, exile the top card of your library. If that card is a land card, put it into your hand. If it's a creature card, put it on the bottom of your library and create a 1/1 green plant creature token. If the card is non-creature, non-land, put that card on the bottom of your library, and each opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life. Cool, so you make plants, and this is kind of a Zendikar throwback, so you gotta wonder if they're going back to Zendikar fairly soon with what's going on here. They're showing us the basic lands from Zendikar, they're giving us kind of effects from Zendikar. So what is this winter set? We are returning to some sort of plane, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's Zendikar, so we find out more what's going on. Improvements to the game installer and update process. So the game will no longer fully uninstall, reinstall. They're making it as a launcher that will update in the background now from the looks of it. They're changing the log a little bit. I went through this. It doesn't look like there's a huge change. And as of July 25th, all these things will go up on the status page, and information on maintenance times. So they just say secure your carry-on items, stow your tray tables, and please remain seated until Sparky has indicated it's safe to remove about the planes. So we'll see where the state of the beta takes us in the next little bit here. So I found a story here from November 14th, 2015, labeled Conley Woods Growing Up 20,000 Steps at a Time. It goes into talk about Conley Woods, a longtime Magic Funny Man deck builder and tournament mainstay. In 2011, he hit the Worlds, the Pro Tour in Honolulu, 2009 top 8 finisher, and 6-time Grand Prix top 8 player. So he's known in the Magic community, apparently, as a rogue deck genius. Anyway, he plays Magic the way he likes to play Magic, by building his own decks and putting things together that are different. I guess a second thing was dancing. He liked to dance. Apparently when he started dancing, he was able to lose well over 100 pounds when he started doing that. Now, I'm not going to go through this completely. I'm going to just do it verbatim. Playing Magic at a competitive level tends to knock all the room out for anything else. You just can't play for 3 hours on Friday and not suck. You're going to suck. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, he met a girl. He got really heavy into the EDM dance scene. A girl I was dating got me into the EDM dance scene, which is electrical or electronic dancing, and the scene is rampant with drug use and paraphernalia and everything else. It's not a very friendly scene from what I've seen from it. I used to go to the club and dance when I was younger, but it's not something that we do nowadays. But from the sounds of it, he would go there and spend hours and hours and hours, even to the point where he was missing flights. I didn't get into dancing for the weight loss, But it certainly helped, he continued. Sometimes I'll dance 20,000 steps in a night. I'll look at my phone afterwards and go, whoa, I did 10 miles of dancing tonight. He barely changed his diet, but just changed the lifestyle change was enough. That shift after Pro Tour Hawaii caused Conley to call a cascade like a human blood braid elf. Doors opened doors to more doors. He started taking stock of his values in life, then adding them in healthy ways, after breaking it all down. Well, apparently he's evolving much as a positive person. This is in 2015. Anyway, the simple opportunity from the girl that he no longer dates has opened a whole new chapter for him. The difference between 27 and 29 was a lot more than 2 years. He went back to gaming, streaming once a week for about 5 to 6 hours, and then traveling again to Grand Prix events. So what changed? The big thing was dealing with long-term planning. So he tried to plan things out with the ever-changing Pro Tours and qualifiers. It's hard to know 6 months down the road if you were even going to make it, and that's why they created the MPL. So this person was ripe in the middle of the Pro Tour back in its heyday. The biggest thing that changed, he said, finding what matters. As this article came to a close, someone came up and asked him, Conley, long time, what you been up to? And he responded with, just dancing. Lots of dancing. Well, that dancing has turned into Denver man accused of raping woman in Santa Fe home. A Denver man accused of rape in Santa Fe claims he was fulfilling the victim's fantasy. So dancing turned to role-playing, turned to fantasy, turned to rape. Conley Woods, 26. So that's interesting. This is saying he's 26, but in this article saying the difference between 27 and 29 in 2015, and we're in 2019, which is 4 years later. We may have to look at a little bit more into this, because I'm pretty sure that picture is the same person. That's the same mole that's there on his face. That's pretty distinctive. That's the same haircut from 2015. Yeah, I'd say that's definitely him. So 2015 plus 4 years. So 29 plus 4 is 33. So I'm not sure if 26 is right, or if this was supposed to be 17 to 19 instead of 27 to 29. Even that doesn't add up. So I'm not entirely sure there. Anyway, I'm pretty sure this is the same person. He was arrested Sunday at his home near Corellis and Governor Miles Road after the victim called 911 screaming for help. According to the criminal complaint, the woman says Woods, a longtime friend, suddenly attacked her, dragged her into a room, choked her, and raped her. After Woods was arrested, police say Woods claimed he was role-playing. He's charged with rape and aggravated battery. I hate to say it, you fall out from the magic stuff into the EDM scene. It's not a big leap to get into the drug scene, and then it goes to this a few years down the road. Ew. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the same guy. Colin Woods is a former pro player associated with Channel Fireball. More recently, he is known for his Magic Online streams. So here we're going to have Pro Tours played 22. It does not give his date of birth, unfortunately. Sometimes these do. So Pro Tour debut was in 2007. Winnings $88,000. Pro Tour top 8s was only 2. Grand Prix top 8s were 6 with 1 win. So he's an accomplished, but he's not fully. top 200 all-time money leaders, so that's there. Yeah, so... And here's the new article from Hipsters of the Coast. And in the round 17 standings. Woods finished third at Grand Prix San Jose 2012 with teammates Owen Turnenwald and Eric Folick. And although the cutoff was top 2 teams instead of the usual top 4 for a team event, it has been recognized as counting Grand Prix top 8 finishes at Wizards of the Coast. Owen Turnenwald has disappeared off the map because of alleged sexual assault. Eric Froelich, I thought there was something else going on there. So, I'm kind of recording this in real time, guys. Froelich is someone that I know, someone that is known quite well. I'm not entirely, well, yeah, it doesn't seem that there's anything there. I wasn't sure. I don't know anything. I'd have to look. Oh, it's World Series of Poker. That's where I know the name very well from. Because I used to follow the World Series of Poker quite a bit. But it's interesting that there's a link here to Owen Turnenwald. I'm a bit surprised. I don't follow the pro scene very well, but it's something to see when the dominoes start falling. They fall all at once, and we'll see what else comes out of this. That's quite interesting to find. We also got a look at the final archery set, the Throne of Eldraine. Few things to note with Eldraine. It is the name of the plane. There is going to be a planeswalker as the face of the set, like there has been in most other sets, that is from this home plane. So we don't know if it's a planeswalker we know or one that we have not seen yet. We also have Kasmina and the Wanderer from War of the Spark that are 2 real unknowns when it does come from War of the Spark, so maybe there's a tie-in there. There's also Tyhe that I don't know much about. There's a few other planeswalkers that could tie into this, and it might not be a new one, but I suspect it's going to be a brand new one. There's been questions asked, is Eldraine very similar to Eldrazi? There's no Eldrazi whatsoever, apparently, to do with Eldraine. So we can put that to bed right now. And going forward, there probably will be at least 3 planeswalkers in a normal standard set, with core being the exception to that rule. So we should see, we know 1 is directly from this plane. They're probably brand new, and then there's going to be 2 others. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see maybe some background story on others that we don't know much about. Let's hope. Excitement with around Eldraine. This is very good. Hopefully it is the high fantasy that we're looking at. Makes me think of Kingdom Hearts with the key swords there. Maybe we get a Keyblade as equipment. That would be cool. Anyway, guys, on to the next one. So, in other news, I bring up a deck list here from the Star City Games Open that was on July 13th, 2019. This was the number 1 placed deck by Aaron Barrich. I'm not entirely sure if that's correct. But anyway, we're going to show you a little bit of that gameplay. Okay, Star City Games had an event this last week, and there was a bit of a cheat that was on camera. It was caught on camera. This is in the top 8, I believe. The person has an experimental frenzy, which you can see with the arrow there while it's paused. Now, what's going to happen here is they're going to go to cast a Chain Whirler that's in exile via Light Up the Stage. And I haven't seen the clip before this, but apparently the original Light Up the Stage was also casted from their hand. And if you know Experimental Frenzy well, you know it cannot be you cannot cast anything from your hand. However, you can look at the top of your library. So we'll play forward here a little bit, and you're going to see her tap 3 lands, pull them over to the side. Now, it's interesting how they have their lands completely separated across the table like this. If you're looking at the opponent here, he has his lands neatly stacked one to the other, so you know what's tapped and what's untapped. Yes, you're playing red deck wins, but this is a very odd thing to do, to have your lands so chaotically spread out like that. You having them to be spread out like that just causes line of sight issues when you're moving from one side of the table to the other. Now, you're going to see here, she picks up the Chain Whirler from exile after thinking a few times here. And then she looks at her hand there, right? And she looks like she's about to play the Chain Whirler. Forward here a little bit, and then suddenly, very quickly, turning around, untapping those 3 lands, tapping 1 and leaving it on the other side of the table, and casting a light up the stage on the pile of the land. So this is from her hand. She can't do this from her hand. She has these cards off to the side. Now, I'm going to draw you to the library here, because you're going to see her pick up the 2 cards and put them in the exile, right? Then she goes back immediately and looks at the top card. So she knows she has Experimental Frenzy on the board because it's immediate. It's not, there's no delay, there's nothing there. The fact that you took these cards from your hand, casted that, you have Experimental Frenzy, so you know it's there, you know how the card works, and you know that what you're doing is wrong. So I did slow it down here so we can see it all go in one go. I'll move my mouse so the bottom there, so you can see the lands go off to the side. Picks up those same 3 lands. Very fidgety to me. This is very fidgety. And just counting the amount of permanents that are here, this is way too many permanents for a red deck wins to be ahead in the game. I don't know what their life totals are at this point, and I don't really care, because this is a blatant, to me, it's a blatant cheat. Then suddenly takes those 3 lands back, taps 1, leaves it there, casts the light up the stage very quickly. So it's a very quick motion, looks at that top card immediately. So to me, there's something more there. So we'll see what comes out of that. Wow, what a week. That bit of gameplay is very questionable. For someone to go through 15 rounds and know how Experimental Frenzy works, it's definitely something that shouldn't interact that way. It's the 15th round. You should be knowing how your deck works, especially when you're casting from your hand, looking at the top of your deck, casting from your hand. There's a few things going on there, and from the sounds of it, judges looked at it and they let it slide. So I don't know what the details fully are on that, but it should be fully investigated from what I saw on that little bit of a clip that I was able to find. There obviously was something there going wrong. The way they reacted, where they were about to cast, they looked at their hand and went, oh wait, and then it was a sudden, very quick, where everything else looked like it was methodic and thought out, and then that went super quick, as if to not try and catch it from across the table. We'll see what comes from that, because this being a first place finish, illegally gained, with that bit of problems that actually arose during the match. We'll see what comes from it. I'm leaving that part at that, and back with the pros, we got to reset the clock again, guys. And the fact that there's a link between Woods and Owen, I don't know what else is going on there. I'll let everyone else look into that. I just covering what I see. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching this week. I hope you found this useful, and we will see you guys again next week.